record a summary of our live chats that we held last week. Last week we did our first set of live chats at quiltingweekly.com, and we had a topic of hand quilting versus machine quilting. Quite a lively topic. We do our chat sessions that run Monday through Friday on the second and fourth week of every month with a new topic at each session. Please check the website and the forum for details on times and places for those chats. But there was so much information that was covered during those chats that I really had a hard time trying to put it all down on paper, and it would have been quite a lengthy post in the forum, so I thought a video would be fun. So it'll be a little rough around the edges because I probably won't do any editing on this one. It's just going to be record as is, so bear with me. We're going to see how this turns out, and if it works, maybe this is the way we'll go from now on. First area that I want to cover is in marking tools. There are so many variations on the market today of tools that can be used for marking, from chalk pencils in an array of colors, white, yellow, blue, gray, whatever color you really fancy. You probably could find a chalk pencil in that color. Chalk pencils are probably one of my favorite choices for marking a quilt top if I choose to mark. The reason being is chalk is easily removed. It doesn't leave any residue, it washes out quickly, so I find chalk, and you just need to find a favorite that you like. One of the ones that I found at a quilt show that I really fell in love with was made by Roxanne's. It's called a Quilter's Choice. It's a very soft chalk. One of the disadvantages to this chalk is the tips break fairly easily, so I found I ended up sharpening more frequently than necessary, but a very light touch on the quilt. It marks easy, it comes off easy, it erases even. They have actually an eraser now for chalk pencils that you can actually erase directly on the fabric, and some of the pencils you notice that I have built-in erasers. Some work better than others. You got to do a test. Test the chalk out, see how it comes, shows up, test it out in a scrap, see how it erases or washes out, so meets your satisfaction. Along the chalk area, there are also these new chalk wheels that I have a yellow and a blue one. I'm just going to do I don't know if you can see that on camera, but basically you just roll it out, and these are great for straight line chalk. For grids, if you want to just take a ruler and mark lines on your fabric, I like these, and I have a dark and a light for various colored fabrics. The other item that is popular in marking are the markers. This particular marker has two colors, one on either end. One is what they call Mark Be Gone. This one you have to wash out. The disappearing ink, usually found in the purple, that is air drying, I guess is the best way I can describe it. You mark it on your quilt. It's kind of a short-term marking because as it dries, it fades and disappears. But don't let that fool you, because there still may be residue on your quilt. This is something that on Monday's talk I talked very in-depth about, and even the water erasable markers are something you need to really test and be sure you've gotten all your markings out. The reason I bring that up is sometimes when we finish our quilt, there may be a spot where we end up taking the iron to it, pressing it out, or even after you wash it and throw it in the dryer. If in some cases people don't even wash their quilts, they may just throw them in the dryer to fluff them. Any heat that is taken to that fabric after you've used these markers will permanently set the marker. Found this out the hard way. And once it's set, it will not come out, and the manufacturer will not do a thing about it. They pretty much tell you that's, it's not something they warranty. So you need to read the directions, test it out, make sure it comes out to your satisfaction. I found that these water soluble do work fairly well, and I use a spray bottle with water in it, and I just mist the fabric. But as I said, heat will screw it up, and I did that by mistake because I sprayed the fabric and then I took it to the iron to dry it quicker, and it set the ink into the fabric and it was done. It did not come out. So use with caution. They're fabulous tools, but always, always, always test. Another tool along the chalk line are these pounces. You can fill them up with chalk, and they work really well when you're using stencils. So if you have a stencil, I've got a whole pile of them over in the corner there, but putting your stencil down on your fabric and then using the pounce, you know, right across the fabric here, that will make short order of marking. So if you're using stencils, a pounce is kind of nice. I've also heard of people that take things like cornstarch and fill their pounce with cornstarch. Again, a natural product that will come out easily. Test them out again and make sure that it works for you. So those are my tips on marking tools. I have one last tip, and this one I found, I'm not even sure where I found it, but this is really somewhat humorous, but actually a phenomenal way to use up those tiny little slivers of the soap that you get left in the bathtub or on the sink that you don't know what to do with. They're getting too small to use, but when they're nice and thin and flat, believe it or not, on dark fabric, you can mark with soap. And I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to hold it up there, that one line there. That makes a pretty nice chalk line for, again, straight markings. There's another mark that I did. It's pretty thin, pretty straight. Use it with a ruler, and it's a great way to recycle the slivers of soap. This one I didn't let go on the chat. So for watching my video, you got a bonus today. Use up your slivers of soap and recycle them. They make great marking tools, and of course we all know soap washes out, so no problem with the residue. So